Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this session on how to perform a ethical hacking attack with the help of Kali Linux. तो आज के इस वर्कशॉप में हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं कि एक हैकर बेसिकली कोई अटैक कैसे परफॉर्म करता है एंड हाउ वी कैन रेप्लिकेट द सेम अटैक एंड we'll be learning some countermeasures against it. So in this session, we are going to have a practical on system hacking basically, where we are going to exploit client-side vulnerabilities and establish a VNC session and hacking a Windows machine with a malicious Office document using the fat rat. तो ये दो practicals हम इस session में करने वाले हैं with the help of which you will be able to understand that how basically a hacker performs a attack. So if you're new to this ethical hacking field, if you're new to cybersecurity, and if you don't know anything yet, then let me explain you in a very simple term that what exactly ethical hackers do. So before starting in the live chat, let me know if my voice is audible and you're able to see the screen properly. The live chat is open. Great. So this session will be about how a hacker performs an attack on a Windows machine or on any target. तो इस सेशन में हम यही देखने वाले हैं, okay? And this session will be mix of English, Hindi. So it will be like a English kind of session. So if you face any query in between, आप live chat में वो type कर सकते हो. तो एक ethical hacker का role basically होता है footprinting करना, जिसमें वो information gather करता है. Footprinting is where they gather the information or hackers gather the information, okay? Then the second one is scanning, where we perform vulnerability assessment kind of thing, where we gather weaknesses about the system. I'll write along with this. Scanning is where we scan for information like open ports, find vulnerabilities, weaknesses, gaining access, in which we perform a exploit and try to gain the access by bypassing the security. Maintaining access is something where we try to check that for how long we can stay in the system, how long a hacker can stay in the system. So for example, if a system got hacked, if a target got hacked, someone got hacked, say that a Windows machine. So a hacker will be performing certain operations, activities like copying files, downloading files, or whatever information they were looking for. But the system security mechanism needs to be designed in a way that they must not stay for long in the system. The security system must detect an intruder, okay, and must alert the system admin that there is some some intruders in the system which needs to be checked. So like that. So we have a lot of tools, methods using which how these things are tracked, but it's a phase, it's a process step where the hackers try to maintain the access so that whenever they want to look for some information, they can get back to the system again. Okay. So maintaining access ho gaya to basically in simple word I can write down as and clearing track is like hiding fingerprints in simple terms. So in our case, clearing tracks, hiding fingerprints is like deleting the log files, deleting any information which can lead to the hacker's location or the hacker's traces. So suppose there is a, let me explain you like this. Where is the option? Suppose there is a house, okay, and there is an intruder. Now, this intruder wants to get inside this house, and this house might be having some windows, okay, some doors. Now, the intruder will be looking for any weakness in the house's security. Maybe there's a CCTV camera, whether it's active or not, whether the windows are open or not, whether we can open the window from outside. There might be a door lock, so the hacker can pick the lock also. Okay, so the ethical hacker now will be the security guard. Okay, the ethical hacker is a security guard who is the one looking for the security of the premises or the house, you can say. अब इसका job है कि to make sure all the entry points, all the security and the network is basically secured so that the intruder cannot get into the premises, into the house. Okay, now I guess it's more clear to you who is an ethical hacker and what an ethical hacker do. Okay, now let's get back to the lab. So in this lab, we will be performing this practical where we exploit client-side vulnerabilities and establishing a VNC session. VNC stands for virtual network connection. It's a way how a system connects with each other. Like basically, if I want to communicate with you with the help of AnyDesk or a TeamViewer or any other software to share my screen or to share my system access, then we need to establish a VNC session. So we'll be doing a reverse TCP attack basically here. Okay, the system might be a little slow, so please be patient. Password is so this is Parrot operating system. It's like Kali Linux, but more advanced version of it. Now this looks like exactly how a Kali machine looks. आप देख सकते हो screen पे if you are able to see properly. It is having the same application menu like a Kali, and the softwares and all everything is basically categorized like this. Basically, it is mostly used for pen testing purpose. And in this, you can see that whatever we have discussed, it is categorized like this. Information gathering, we have these tools, vulnerability analysis, application. It's basically like Kali Linux only. Okay, so let's directly get started. Okay, so let's start. So the concept is basically to use a tool known as Metasploit to create a multi-handler. A multi-handler is like a server which will be hosted in the attacker machine. Okay, so now if I go in the terminal and start the MSF console, let's see whether our MSF console Metasploit is available here or not. The PDF of lab manual is already available in the this resources. If it is not shared with you, I'll upload it in the group or on the Google Drive. So we can see here that the Metasploit is installed in the system. Now we need to create a payload which will be sharing with the Windows user. Okay, so the payload can be generated with the help of a tool known as MSF Venom. Now, MSF Venom is a part of Metasploit framework where we can basically create any kind of payload. So right now I'll show you for Windows. The same steps can be used to create for Android. Just replace, this is the command for the payload to create a payload. It is basically giving the payload name, platform name, and few other information like the format of the software, the host of the attacker machine, port number, and the output folder. So I'll show you how to create a payload with the help of MSF Venom. So let's exit this first. Sorry. Okay. So MSF Venom, make sure that we are on desktop. We will be sharing on desktop. So we are in the home folder now. This sign represents that we are in home location, like home folder. Okay, so there is a root folder. Then inside that we have home. In the home we have the user, and in the user file there's a system format like desktop or all the folders, downloads, documents जैसे भी होते हैं. So मैं आपको पहले एक बार show कर देता हूँ. If I type ls, you see that we are having these available locations in the current directory. If we are in the directory, we can see with pwd command, we're inside home attacker. This is the username attacker. Okay, using which we are logged in. We'll type msf venom -p stands for payload. Now we'll get the location of the payload. Now this location is basically something which comes with the Metasploit framework. So in some location at some in the root directory, in the Metasploit folder, there are different exploits, payloads, artillery, different scripts uh, is available. So we have to just give the location like that. This is how it understands. So Windows, meterpreter, and the payload is reverse TCP. So it's like it will generate a virus or a malware, you can say, which will be shared with the target. Once the target installs or downloads it, it will create a reverse TCP connection with the host machine, with us, means the attacker machine. Now we mentioned the platform for which we are generating the payload, the exe file. Okay, and some configurations to it, like architecture will be like 86 -f, else for the format will be having exe. The file will be .exe extension. So we will give -f exe. Okay, if it's generating for Android, it'll give apk. Got it? Now lhost will be the IP address of this machine. So let's see what's our IP address. It's 10.13. Okay, then the L port 444 will be using by default, and the output location. So within the attacker, so we'll use desktop, and on the desktop only you can save it with any name. So we'll just create test.exe. So let's wait for it to generate the payload. Once it is generated, we'll find a way to basically share it with the Windows machine, Windows target. Okay, so here it is saying it is generated successfully. Let's check here. Okay, no such file or directory. We missed the location actually. Okay, now we have to mention home, the user file we are into, desktop, and then the name. So once it is generated, we'll just share it with the victim, Windows user. It shows it is generated. And we can see here, it is generated, test.exe. So next step is to share the payload with the Windows target. Okay, so that we can do with the help of different ways. For example, sharing in a pen drive, sharing in a mail, email, with the help of instant messaging apps, with the help of social engineering. So as we are doing in a simulated environment, we have Apache server on the Kali. So किसी भी तरीके से आपको बस you have to just share with the Windows user. It can be any way. Okay, so let's start the Apache server and share the software, the payload with the Windows target. Okay, so before that, we need to make sure that the file is basically available. The location है, wherever the Apache server will host the file, it is available. So yeah, it is available. Now what we need to do is either we can just copy paste the payload in this directory, or we can just create a new folder named as share. It says cannot create because we don't have the root access privileges. So we just use sudo. Okay, and now if I check, there is a new folder known as share. Now, as we have created a new folder, we need to make sure it is accessible to all the users in my network. Okay, so I need to change the modify the permission of the particular file to chmod with the help of chmod command -r 755. This is the permission code that it can be accessed and executed or downloaded, read write execute kind of thing you can say, and that will be enough. We'll just give the location of the file which you want this permission to change. Operation not permitted, we have to use sudo. And done. Now we need to just use cp command to copy paste the payload to this particular location. So we're in share permission. Okay. There's an easy way to basically bypass this issue to log in as a root user. Sorry. Okay, so it's done. Let's check share. It's here. Now the Windows user just needs to open our URL. Now we can share the URL to the target. अब वो आपके ऊपर है how you share. It's on you only because it's basically like uh, manipulating the user to believe that whatever you are sharing, it's a genuine thing. Because किसी को अगर आप बोल के करोगे, if you say and give it to someone that I'm going to hack you, obviously they're not giving you uh, any chance to it, right? So as we are doing it for education purpose now in a controlled environment, we can just share it with the Apache server and can install the tool ourselves in the Windows machine. I hope you're getting my point. Okay. Now, just start the Apache server first. Service. It might ask us to give password. To check the status, we can type status. So it's running now. Okay, so let's clear this window. Now, next step is that the user will install our payload, and once they install, we'll be able to get to know that someone is connected to our host machine. Means कि हमारा payload किसी ने install किया है. So before that, we need to start our MSF console, the Metasploit framework, and host a multi-handler. Okay, so same payload what we used to create from the MSF Venom command, हमको वही payload use करना है यहाँ पे, and we need to start a handler. So we'll type use exploit multi-handler. Okay, now we are using a particular exploit. Now here we have to set some information like payload कौन सा use करना है उस multi-handler में, which payload to be used for that multi-handler for which we are looking for, and set the IP address and the port number on which the payload is configured. So we'll do set payload, the location of the payload what we have used while creating the MSF Venom malware. So same thing, Windows, Meterpreter, reverse TCP, enter. Then we have to set the IP address, the L host. Okay, this is 13 because we are using parent operating system, so attacker machine. This is the IP address of attacker machine, not the target machine. Set L port 444. Use the same information what we have used while creating the MSF Venom payload. Okay. Yes, this is a CEHI Labs. If you want, you can just contact me over WhatsApp to for getting this iLabs. Hit enter. Now everything is configured. We can also check up all the data what we have given here with the help of command show options. But you don't have to do anything now. Let's type exploit, hit enter. It will start the multi-handler now. Now it will wait for the connection to establish here. So whenever someone installs the payload which we have generated, the test.exe, this one. Whenever someone installs this, obviously this is a Windows executable file, which we have already shared with the network. So we'll go to Windows 10. Let's log in here and install the payload. Let's go to Wireshark. Now we just need to access the IP address. Open share folder. So the test.exe is available here. Okay. So now we'll just download this. So we have downloaded it, but yet you won't be able to see that we got any connection here. क्योंकि it's just downloaded. Now we need to install it in the victim machine. Okay, so obviously we have not used any bypass techniques yet. So the antivirus or Windows security might give some alerts, but obviously there are some ways to bypass that also. So let's open this and install. So we just installed it. Now you won't see anything. The victim won't see anything. Nothing will happen in the victim's machine. But if you go back parrot, the attacker machine will see that a connection is successfully established here, which means that we are now connected. We can now remotely connect the particular machine जो connect हुआ है हमारे payload के help से. So you can simply type sysinfo to check whether we are connected with the system or not. So you can see that it's showing Windows 10, Windows 10, all the information here. So now we are actually remotely communicating with the target machine. We used PWD, so it is showing कि हम किस location में हैं अभी फिलहाल. आप देख सकते हो कि download folders में whatever file it is, we are able to see few of them. Okay, so there are a lot of things you can do, hackers can do with the help of this. They can perform certain commands where they can upload some scripts with the help of which they can perform any command executions. Okay, and they can take screenshot, they can do they can install a keylogger, right? And this step was particularly to perform a VNC session. So a VNC session is basically which will mirror the victim's machine. जो उसका screen होगा वो यहाँ पे mirror हो जाएगा. So the command for it is basically to run just VNC. Okay, so yeah, here it is. So you can see that the Windows machine is basically mirrored here. Okay, so if we go back to the Windows machine, just minimize this. So you can see here that we are able to mirror the whole screen of the target machine. This is how VNC session is established and we have gained access over the system. So there are certain other methods using which you can basically perform some other commands. For example, take screenshots, do keylogging, uh, download files, upload files, and many more. Get this. Okay, so let's close this one. Now there are different kind of tools available, like a remote access Trojan, you can say, which can be used to perform the same operation to gain remote access over the system. So we have a tool known as the Fat Rat. Now the Fat Rat is basically a remote access Trojan. The full form of RAT is the remote access Trojan. So a Fat Rat can generate a RAT tool for the Windows machine that can be shared with a document. We can bind it with a document, and when someone opens the document, will be able to basically gain a remote access of the particular system. तो जो Fat Rat है वो basically Kali Linux, Backtrack और Parrot में available रहता है. If it is not available, you can just download it. Okay, so if I type Fat Rat, permission denied. So here we can see it is executing everything. This is a warning. You can just continue further. Now we are here. So we can generate a remote access Trojan basically. We can create a backdoor with the help of MSF Venom. We can FUD it also. FUD means we'll be able to bypass some antivirus scanning. Okay, we'll be able to bypass some security systems. Okay, FUD crypto backdoor, creating some uh, backdoor with the help of Office. So microploit is there which can be used for this. So हम लोग यही वाला use करने वाले हैं, with the help of which we can create a payload. Okay, so we can just create right now with the help of PW winds. So we can create a backdoor which can be shared with the target, and once the target installs opens it, we'll be able to uh, gain a remote access of it. So let me do one thing. Perform this as an assignment. Okay, let me give you this as an assignment. I'll share the lab manual of the particular task in the group or in the Telegram channel. If you're not there in our group or Telegram channel, I'll just share the WhatsApp number, and then you can just text it there and ask to basically add you in the group. So I will be sharing you this file, the fat rat tutorial. And as I've already shown you that how it is done, just use the fat rat command, go through different options or go with this option and create a backdoor. Okay. Now, once the backdoor is created, it will be executed with the help of metasploit only. So metasploit से मैंने maximum आपको show कर दिया, जैसे यहाँ पे you can see the steps. In the lab manual, the same steps will be mentioned. So with the help of this command, we'll be creating the payload. Say that we'll select 6. Okay. So here you can see that we have multiple options. We can use various other options, create a bat file plus PowerShell. So this can be also created, but we are doing it for Windows. So we'll just use create exe file with Apache plus PowerShell. Okay, so we'll select 3. Now we just have to give the IP address of our machine, the attacker machine IP address. An L port, which we can give, I think 444 or 4444 by default we can set. So we can base name we can set to anything, example. Now it will ask us to basically select the payload which we want to use here. So we'll be basically using the reverse TCP payload only. We'll be selecting the third option. Sorry, third. So you can see that same steps which is done by the Metasploit, it is generating here. Now basically after this, there will be a file, exe file, which will be generated. You can see here it got saved, example.exe. It's saved in the root fatrat generated directory example.exe. Now, if you share this with the target, obviously with the help of Apache server, you can select. Okay, once they install it, there will be a backdoor created. Okay, and second option is to basically use a payload to basically bind it with the file. Okay, so same options what we have got here. You can select create a backdoor from the, where it is the option, the first one. Okay, it's gone, I think. So that option you can select to create a backdoor for Office with microsploit. Now you have to give the location of the obviously the IP address, the port number, and the base name file where you have saved it. That is root fatrat generated example.exe. Okay, once that is done, you can basically share the payload with the victim as a document file. And once document file is installed by the target, you can share it with the Apache server. That's it. The user will be hacked, the target will be hacked, and will be able to see the whole the remote view of it and perform certain operations with the help of the fat rat. Okay, so this is an assignment. I have given the whole overview now. I hope that it will be now easy for you to perform the activity. Any doubts? Anyone, let me know. I hope it is clear. So this is how basically a hacker hacks into a system. This is very small portion of the whole hacking ecosystem, the whole cybersecurity. Now, suppose If you want to learn hacking, then you need to make sure you learn certain basics. For example, understanding how the system works, understanding about some operating system, understanding about some network concepts, and so many other things. Now, if you want to become an ethical hacker, then I can offer you a mentorship or a training using which you can uh, gain skills in ethical hacking and become a cybersecurity expert. So we have this course known as CSCP, okay, Cybersecurity Certified Professional, which comes with 8 courses along with the mentorship calls. Now, the mentorship call is a very exclusive thing which we started it few months back. In this, you will be getting a call from me and from our other course counselors and career counselors, which can help you to basically streamline and create a future map for your cybersecurity domain or ethical hacking. Okay, so if you want to enroll in the CSCP and if you're interested to basically have a live session on CSCP for 60 days, you can basically enroll in the CSCP course. Okay, if you want to directly enroll, you'll find the link somewhere in the chat or session here, or you can just WhatsApp on the number which I have shared in the live chat. So thank you for joining this session, everyone. Thank you for joining this workshop. I hope this session was pretty clear to you that how hackers perform hacking and how they gain access to a system. There are a lot of more things you can learn, and I welcome you to my CSCP course and see you soon in the class. Thank you for joining this session, this workshop, everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.